Okay, we're back. Lucas Real Estate Podcast. We're calling it a podcast and not a video because that's what everyone's doing nowadays. And we are going to talk about one of our articles, which is a new issue where trustees, executors, realtors, title companies, and escrow companies need to be aware of Prop 19 because what's happening is nobody is paying attention to this law because nobody knows about it. When someone dies, it is essentially a big inherited property tax bill, a death tax, if you will. And for example, if mother dies a year ago and it takes the estate a year to sort things out and then they finally sell the property, the assessor didn't know about that until the person actually sells the property and then finds out when all that paperwork is filed. The assessor is going to send you a bill for the entire amount of the increased property tax bill that's going to be due from the date of death all the way until you sold the house. So in that hypothetical where you sold the house a year later, and let's say the property tax bill went up $15,000, they're going to send you a bill for $15,000 that nobody accounted for during the escrow. That money may be long gone. It may be distributed. It may already be sitting in your driveway. So it's a big problem. We're starting to get calls where people are saying, hey, my realtor didn't tell me about this. My escrow company didn't tell me about this, whatever. I am urging escrow companies, title companies, executors, trustees, you need to be aware of this. Even if you don't want to actually account for the money, at the very least, you need to have something in writing that tells people about this issue, that they need to set aside some money because they are going to get a bill. It is going to be an unsecured tax bill, so they can't go after the new owner for it, but it will show up on the new owner's bill. The new owner might be pissed. We've gotten that phone call. But more importantly, the county can, whether or not they will, that's an issue. But the county certainly can come after you or the estate, whatever the selling entity was, for that amount of money. And like I said, if that amount of money is already gone, it's been dispersed or whatnot, that is a big problem. We've heard some realtors that have actually written checks themselves to cover those amounts of money. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I would much rather prefer that you simply put in writing and advise your clients that is going to happen and that they need to account for it. You can do the math, or they can have someone do the math. You need a couple bits of information to kind of figure that out and get a good estimation, but you ironically can't send in the money yet because you don't have the bill. So you almost have to wait until after the property sells to get the bill. But head on over, review our article on lucasrealestate.com. That's Lucas, Lucas hyphen real, REAL hyphen estate, estate.com. Check out our blog section for that and additional information. We do have a proposed little disclaimer in there that you can use. And we do highly recommend that. If you are an escrow officer, title officer, realtor, you may want to talk to your own broker or supervisor and see if there is some sort of form that they're going to come up with. But bottom line is that people do need to be aware of this, and they are not. And as more people die and as more people sell the properties that were inherited, the longer you wait to sell, the bigger the chance of that tax bill coming up is. And in markets like Newport Beach, where we work, those can be substantial. You could have a $30,000, $40,000 a year tax increase. You wait 2 years to sell the property, all of a sudden you're sitting on a $60,000 to $80,000 tax bill. So that's what's coming. We are going to see lawsuits about that eventually, and whether or not it's a fiduciary obligation of the realtors or the escrow company to be advising of that, we don't know the answer to that yet, but my humble recommendation is why not? And that's it for this episode. Thank you so much. Bye.